Welcome to a Cross Yoga slow class. A great class if you're tired, but you still feel like you need to do something with your body, maybe from sitting in the same position all day long. You would most likely want 2 blocks if you have a strap. You can do it all without. And then today's theme is going to be about a word or a phrase that you pick. So in a moment, I'm going to show you some words on the screen, and you just pick the one that speaks to you immediately. So don't overthink it, just pick one. You can't do it wrong. And then after that, you can come on your back and starting resting there with your knees bended. So take a look at the screen and just pick one word or choose your own if you like. If you're ready, take a rest on the mat in the sense that you bend your knees, get the feet. Actually, I have mine at mat with distance and let the knee drops in towards each other. And then either bring your hands by the side, or really my favorite is on the belly, because then you can feel your breath. We won't stay here for too long, but bring your word, the word that you chose, back to your memory. And then focus on your breath. Feel the breath move into your belly and out, or more correctly, into your lungs and out. And as you breathe slowly, you can surrender your day. Maybe experiences, meetings with people jumps into your mind, and you actually need to let go of that. Sigh out if it feels good. Maybe you pray for the people that popped into your mind. And maybe the word you chose somehow speaks to what you just had to experience throughout your day. Maybe not. If there is anything that word can open up for or speak to into your experiences during the day, please connect those two in a prayer or a thought or meditation. And if you're ready, bring your hands down on the floor. Let the knees drop apart and windshield wiper your legs. Don't overdo this. Just slow, mindful movements from left to right. If you have had a very stressful day, you might experience that oh, I am more sore or tired in my body than I realized. And it's just good to realize that, because your body is, I call it a temple of God, or actually Paul called it the temple of God. So God's spirit, God's divine power dwells in you and your body. So of course God also uses the body to speak to us about rest or food or whatever we need. Put your feet a little bit closer to the midline of the mat and to your hip as well. We're going to roll the vertebrae by vertebrae, the spine up to a bridge pose without really overdoing it. It's more the movement. So we're going to roll up and down just a few times. And you really decide if you want to go like really squeezing, pushing up, or you're like, oh, let me just take it slow. So moving up and down a few times. All right, when you're down next time, let the movement stop and take a hold of your knees. You can move from side to side and massage your lumbar spine. And it is a great thing to incorporate just a little bit of core strength, because often we don't do that if we sit a lot. So you can hold on to one leg, push the other one out just to the extent where you feel the core has to activate, not so that the lumbar spine, the lower part of the spine, is not moving up. And then you can slowly switch. So the further you take the foot up towards the sky, the easier it will get. The more you get it down, the more you have to engage the core. All right, put both feet on the floor, and then you can kind of drop out on one side. And find tabletop. Put some extra padding under your knees if you like. Draw your shoulders in circles and keep your spine still. So maybe you pull in the navel to some degree to get that sensation of a strong, solid, to some degree, core. And if you want to do a few circles more, you can do that. Or just do a little bit of free movements in your tabletop, whatever your body is calling to. The word that you picked, is that word going to influence how you do your practice today? Maybe to some level you chose a word that can be incorporated and interpreted in many ways. Also, how you will move on your mat, how much effort you put into the postures, or how fast or slow you go. You can take your wrists for a circle and then bring your hands further to the front. Tuck the toes under, find your first down dog. And we're not going to stay here for long. We're just going to get the knees moving. And the hip. You
can always adjust, move into plank and back to down dog if you feel like it. I'm gonna stay in down dog for now. And then walk your feet to the top of the mat or where it makes sense for you to see the screen. Make sure you have some distance in between the feet. You bend your knees so that you can drop everything down, kind of hanging here with your core, your neck. And then slowly turn up or move up to mountain pose at the top of your mat.
Take a few deep breaths. Shake the shoulders down. Soften the knees if you tend to keep them high but extended. And let's go for a few twists. So again, softening your knees. Get a little bit of engagement in the core, and then you can take your arms up to shoulder height and kind of just move your arms slowly from side to side. Notice that I'm trying to keep my hips still. So I'm just moving my arms and thereby my top part of the spine, and a little bit of rotation here. Just do with your fingers, your arms, whatever feels like. If you want to drop them down, do that. Or bring them overhead or whatever. You might want to close your eyes. And then try to move with your hip if it's okay for your knees. So get your hip moving as well. If your arms or shoulders are tight, just bring your hands down. You can feel that you're going into not a deeper twist, but you can do a bigger rotation and your hip moves as well. Awesome. And then take the chin towards the chest and kind of melt forward. And when you come down, when your fingers come down towards the floor, you most likely are going to take a hold of your blocks. Even though you feel like I might not use them, if you have them, try to use them. If you don't, maybe water bottles can do or something else. Take your right leg to the back end of your mat and bend the front leg there. You have block underneath each hand. Either height works, whatever you feel is good. And then you're basically just going to move forth and back and getting a little bit of slow dynamic stretching in here. If you don't like to move a lot, you just want to stay put in the stretch, you can do that. I prefer after a long day, if I've been sitting too much, to do a little bit of movement in those dynamic stretches because it gets the joints moving. It gets the blood flowing through my muscles and tendons and everything, which is great. If you stretch only, you won't gain the benefit of that circulation in your body. Just be creative. We're doing things, hopefully, that are feeling soft. So be playful. This posture or movement we're gonna do on the opposite side. So you can actually just turn around on your mat.
If you're like, I'm not sure, then step to the front and take the other leg back. Is this side feeling different? I feel now that I've warmed out the other side, so this one is a little bit more tight, I sense. As you move here, speak the word again to you. Maybe reflect upon why you chose that word. And you can go as deep in your thoughts as you want, or just say, nah, I don't want to go there. I just want to move. If you're ready, you can make your way back through a wide stance on the mat. So again, bring the blocks if you like. Go for a wide-legged position where your toes are pointing in. Some of you will be able to reach the floor with no problem. Some of us are holding onto our blocks. But the purpose is to feel a stretch in the back of the thighs, maybe the inner thigh as well. Here we're going to stay. Deep breaths in and out through your nose if you can. Lift up, turn around so that you are facing the front, so where you can see the screen the best, most likely. Down dog, just for a moment, and then you can find child's pose. Get some distance in between your knees, hip reaches back towards the heels, and maybe forehead reaches on the floor. Let your palms face up. I like a bowl here or something else. And maybe there is a prayer connected to the word that you chose. Slowly take a seat on the mat. You can sit yourself up on a block if you like. Trying to incorporate a little bit of strength in the core as we sit tall up towards the sky. I'm going to use the arms a little bit. So you can take one hand, that can be your left, behind you, and the on top here behind the back, and the other one comes around the other way. And then we're going to try to switch slowly this direction. If it's a new movement, you might be a little bit confused, but try to do what you want to do or can do. If you want to see it from
behind. I am not reaching for my fingers because I'm doing a dynamic movement with focusing on shoulder mobility. And of course, we are gonna get into this stretch as well. So maybe the next time your left arm is gonna reach up, you might wanna take a hold of the strap. And you're gonna take a hold of the strap in your left arm because then it's easier. If you can do this without a strap, of course you don't need to. But if you wanna take a hold here, you can sit like this and take your shoulders down. Close your eyes maybe. And notice that your your right shoulder is moved back as much as you can without using a lot of effort doing it. Release. Go for that same stretch on the other side. And bring your attention back to the word. Is there anything that you are reminded about in a good way? Maybe you feel like God is speaking something through that word, something in connection to the word. If you chose the word rest, maybe it's because you need rest, but you have a hard time giving yourself approval to rest. So maybe this is a reminder for you to find that rest that you need. Release. There are just one stretch left. Basically, it's up to you what your body is calling for. If you have blocks, you can pop them underneath the lumbar spine, almost the tailbone, and do a restorative back bend. My favorite one with the strap is the spinal twist or rotation. So that's why I will guide you into it. But really, if you're used to yoga, find that posture that your body is calling for. All right. If you want to follow me, take your foot into your right, take your right foot into the strap. Hold on to the strap with the left hand so you can cross the right foot over, and I extend the other leg out, coming all the way out. See how much I go onto the side for my foot to be able to reach the floor there. And then the other arm go out the other way. It can hover. Don't worry. I just want your foot to be down there on the floor. Trying to create length in your spine, the length of the mat. If you don't feel anything, you can pull the strap closer or the foot closer to your head. Or maybe you're just doing just fine by not going all the way in here. Find that relaxing stretch. Take a few more deep breaths. And release. Come back and slowly switch. Other foot. A left foot. Right hand, cross it over. And I sometimes share that the spine can kind of click or pop a little bit. It's almost like a chiropractor would do. So the idea is just that it gets a little bit of release, which is in my body often like, oh, that was so nice. Relax your face. And you can come back on your back and finish like we started, with your knees bended and knees dropping in towards each other. I will not guide you into a longer resting, because most likely if you're tired you fall asleep and maybe you actually need to go to bed or do something else. But of course you choose if you just want to pause and stay here on the mat. It can also be a beautiful time to pray or meditate. I'll just finish with a prayer and a blessing. God, thank you for being present in your word as well. Being present in our bodies, in our breath. Thank you that your love is not due to our achievement or our competences or ability to pray, but your presence, your love exceeds all of that. May you be the foundation upon where we built our lives. Blessings to you, your family, your friends. May God send light to those around you that needs light and healing. Amen. Thank you for this practice. Share it with a friend.